Welcome back to my channel. I'm Amanda and today we're playing with Mixed Media Mayhem and May I Scraplift You? And this is the page that I chose from my.scrap.life on Instagram to Scraplift. And I'm going to do those two pictures of my daughter building a cup tower because that's the kind of stuff she liked to do when she was little. And for Mixed Media Mayhem, we need to have embossing, chipboard, and paste. So I pulled out this piece of scrap and that other one, which is really old basic gray. Those stars are Studio Calico, and then Simple Stories and Hip Kip Club, but both of those came out of Hip Kip Club. I'm not going to use either one of those, but that's okay. So I am going to trim down my photos, and they are going to be not a regular size. So this one I'm literally just going to trim so that it shows the height of what was going on there. And then this further out one, I'm just going to cut all the mess and crap and everything that was out because we homeschooled and the house was never clean. So I wish it was, but it wasn't. There was stuff always everywhere. But I had a kiddo like this who constantly built, and if you've watched some of my videos, you've seen some of the things she's built. I have other stuff to do for her too, so, but she definitely loved to build stuff. She still loves to build stuff. But I'm backing the photo with this piece of backing that came from a sticker sheet from what was Jasmine Jones, so it would have been from a Studio Calico. A lot of those, like if I like it as a grid or polka dot or whatever, I keep it. So I'm also going to back this smaller photo in white to give it a little bit of prominence. I'm not going to make you watch that whole thing because the piece I chose was not square, but I can make it square eventually. So it didn't actually take that long. It was just a lot of slicing on my trimmer that was half off my desk, so you couldn't really see it anyway. So I'm deciding how big I want this piece. This is going to be like the pink checkered piece on the bigger square on the left side. And my papers are a whole lot busier than hers are, and that's okay. So I really looked at this for a while before I even started because I wasn't sure these were the papers I wanted to do and if I wanted to use them together. But I came back to it the next day and went, yeah, I'm totally going to do this way. So yeah, I wasn't sure, but there we go. I did back this in black too because I wanted it to pop a little bit more on that very busy pattern. And I do know that this triangle piece from the same collection is totally going to go in behind. And I'm going to use this scrap piece to do one of my the triangle paper to do one of the pieces of paper I need on this. So this is not quite long enough compared to the lift that we're doing, or I'm doing. So I'm going to use that one on the right side and then just do another piece for the left side. And those two patterns are a lot together, but I am going to do a little bit to distinguish the left one anyway. I like this chipboard. It says obviously laugh and play. And all this chipboard that I'm pulling, except for that blue circle that I don't use, like the frame, this laugh and play, and the crate that's kind of shiny, all came from like these 8.5 by 11 sheets of chipboard that I bought probably 20 years ago. And I've been using them up very, very, very slowly. So they're lovely and they work, and they are not backed, but yeah. So I'm going to use the Nouveau Mousse as a paste. It goes on like a paste. I'm going to use it as a paste. I added some water to it. I cut out some of that mixing and adding water to it because it was fairly dried out. But it does soak up water really nice. So I have been able to give a little bit new life to some of these if they don't go completely hard. I haven't tried like the one that I had that went completely hard, I didn't actually try adding water to and letting sit. But yeah, who knows? And I'm just mushing it through this stencil that's a lot of dots. I don't know what it's called. It's from the Crafters Workshop, and I like how that looks so far. And so that's the one thing. I'm going to hit this with the heat gun. I'm not going to make you watch all of the heat gun part of it. I'm going to put it to side to do a little bit more, and then I'm going to back this triangle paper in black just because I don't want it to get lost. I want to be able to see both. So I did measure it. I didn't measure it properly, but I did measure it. I did cut it a little bigger, so that's better than not big enough. I don't know why it was what it was. So I'm not entirely certain that this is what I want to do. So I just put a tiny bit of tape along the middle, just so that if it's not what I want, then I can still change it. But I totally like that, so it's going to stay like that. And then I'm pretty sure that Laugh and Play is going to go underneath. I'm going to look at this other... Am I doing that first? No, I'm going to do embossing first. So the third thing on the Mixed Media Mayhem was embossing. So I did think about using my embossing folders, but I have a lot of pattern and stuff going on anyway, so I decided to use my embossing powders. So I'm going to use, this is like an anti-static. I got this brand new Distress Embossing ink, so I'm going to give it a go, because I had a whole bunch that like dried out on me. But so I'm just gonna, I use that sponge all the time for embossing, and you would think it'd get hard, but it doesn't. So I imagine eventually it'll get hard. And then this embossing powder I've had for eons. It takes a long time to heat it. Like, oh, so long. That's why I don't use this one very often. I had thought about using another one, but I didn't have it open, and this one's open. So I used it. I didn't burn my paper on this side, but on the other side I did. But it's okay. It'll be what it is. So like it literally took me a long time to do that. So I'm going to stencil some more on this side and getting like really smushing into that to get what I need there. So top and bottom here, so it's on 3 different places. I'm going to emboss. I'm not going to show you the whole thing. It's going to cut out here in a second, but this is what it's going to mostly look like when it's done. And there we go. And if you're looking on the bottom right side on that last circle, you can see that I burnt my paper, but oh well. I am going to distress the other corners of this. I tore the one edge. I didn't feel like tearing the rest of it to like get the torn edge on it, and I almost put the letters and numbers upside down, but yay, I saw it before I stuck it down. And putting some tape on this one and in between, so those layers are all stuck instead of just the middle. And then my photos are going to go on. So with those 3 pieces of paper, there is a little bit of dimension there, so I am going to put this up on the one side on a little bit of fun foam. It's pretty, this is really skinny fun foam, so it works out pretty good. And then this one's going to go on fun foam too. And those are on. And now for the right side. Because I have that black around this triangle piece, I'm just going to ink this side because it's not as prominent anyway. So I thought just a little bit of black around would be more than enough to add the distinction that I need. I am roughing up this edge with my fingernail instead of my tool, even though my tool is right there. Yep, that's how I roll sometimes. And then I'm going to put this frame on here, and I'm not liking seeing all that stuff in behind, but we'll deal with that in a second. I pull out these Studio Calico red stars. I have them in white too. I don't have very many left in white, but I do have them in white too. But I am going to use those in different spots. So just putting them down. Right now I'm being really cognizant of my time because I'm supposed to take the dog to the vet and I don't want to be late for the vet. So I've got like just a little bit left and I have to head out. And then, but I am going to put these sparkly bits. I think these came from a Project Life kit. And I haven't used too many of them, but I'm going to get these ones used up on here. And I am going to back that frame in that speech bubble. And I'm just going to cut the speech bubble off because I don't really use speech bubbles. So, yeah. And it's not like you can write on that speech bubble either. So that's okay. I thought about maybe that one for a second. I do want this laugh and play. There's not really any other yellow on my layout other than in that frame, but I don't care. There's so much color on here anyway. I think it'll work. And then I overlapped that awesome and I went and took my dog to the vet. And so this is this morning of the day I'm supposed to be posting it, which is today. And so I'm going to get this done and on. So actually I'm pretty happy with the way it's sitting right now. So I'm just going to get some last minute things on here. Before I started recording the last bit of this morning, I went and grabbed some red brads. So those are beside too, because I thought maybe for that laugh and play, I'd probably use them. And spoiler, I do. I'm going to glue this piece down and you can see like I cut off the little bit and the speech bubble part. And then that I really like in behind and it doesn't distract like the other piece was. And I like how that overlaps even though it's all chipboard. So I'm going to do 2 foam dots underneath this awesome. And then I'm going to use some foam. So the crate just is super fine on either side of that frame. But because the awesome is going on top of the crate as well as the frame, it just needed a little bit more support. So I used foam adhesive and some fun foam, which are 2 different layers, but that worked out pretty good. Gonna get all of this other stuff on. I love cutting things in half so I can use it on either side of something. And then I decided these stars are gonna look way better up here on the frame. So that's where those are gonna go. Yay. And then this arrow, which is pointing to the top of her tower, which I don't remember if she got it even taller than that. I do know she pulled over a chair that I did not get a picture of and continued to try and build, but I don't remember if she got it higher than this or not. I thought those like explosion bubble comic book things would be good because obviously she's going to build until that falls anyway. And then build again. So getting that other star on. So there's 6 stars in different places, strategically placed. And then I didn't realize when I opened these up, because I just opened them up, I've had them forever, but there's actually different sizes of brads in here. So I get the small one in, and then I grab a different one and realize it's a big one. So I have to change it out. But, and it doesn't stay very easily because the foldy pieces are pretty short. So look at how short that is. Then I grab another one and go, and I put it in, and I'm like, oh, that's bigger. That is definitely bigger. Totally gonna switch it. So switch it, there we go. Because I like that in those 2 holes, and that works out really well. And it pulls that right in one more spot. I didn't attach that other star, so I did. And add a little bit of glue underneath the title so it stays mostly straight, because my brads are not quite straight. And just showing you embossing, paste, and chipboard. Thought about adding this big star to cover that burn mark, but I'm not too fussed, and I didn't really like how that was working. So I am done. So there's some close-ups. There'll be some other still shots here to follow. There'll be 2 playlists linked below, as well as the my.scrap.life will be linked below as well. Make sure you check out the Mixed Media Mayhem creators and the May I Scraplift You creators. I'll also have Pineapple Papers linked below because she is the one who organizes this, and make sure you go check her out too. And so those photos end up being really bright. But thank you so much for watching today. If you haven't subscribed, I'd love to have you here. And here's a couple other videos you might want to watch. Thanks so much for watching today. Have yourself a wonderful day.